Good evening and thanks for joining us. Federal by-elections aren't usually big news, but tonight you'll want to pay attention to some voting going on in this country. 4 federal ridings are up for grabs in Quebec, Ontario and Manitoba. And not only are some of the races hotly contested, they're like a barometer for the parties, a measure of how much pressure they're under and what Canadians think of them, especially the governing Conservatives. And as Jacques Bourbeau reports, you can bet all the leaders are watching closely.
For Conservative candidate Larry Maguire, this by-election should have been a cakewalk. In the last election, the Conservatives won 63% of the vote, the Liberals just 5%. But polls show the Liberals could win the Manitoba riding of Brandon-Souris, and Maguire has a fight on his hands.
I always take things, nothing for granted, as I've said earlier, but we've worked really hard. We've got a good team on the ground, and we're looking hard to get our vote out.
Rolf Dinsdale is the Liberal challenger. He says a couple of things are breaking his way. The Conservatives are divided after a bitter nomination battle, and voters are angry about the Senate scandal.
I think a lot of moderate Conservatives, the former progressive red Tories, are feeling a little bit left behind by Mr. Harper and his government.
The Conservatives are fighting back. They know the message that will be sent if they lose.
It means there's trouble there, that people are a little frustrated with their party. They want to send a message to the Prime Minister and to the Conservative Party that maybe they need to start doing things a little bit differently.
In Toronto Centre, it's the Liberals who have the most to lose. They've held the riding for 20 years, and to keep it, they've been rolling in the heavy guns. At one rally, you had Bob Rae, Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne, and Justin Trudeau. Their message, the Liberals are the best bet to get rid of the Conservatives.
Let's really show the country what the alternative is to the Harper government on Monday, and it is the Liberals and Justin.
And that's exactly what the NDP is fighting against. It's running a strong candidate, journalist Linda McQuaig, and pouring lots of resources into this riding, hoping to prove the last election was not a fluke.
You can get rid of Liberal corruption and then go back to the Conservatives, and eventually when you get tired of Conservative corruption, you do have a choice. You can go back to more Liberal corruption. Well, we think the Canadians deserve better. We know that there's another option.
Voters in the Montreal riding of Bourassa marked their ballots today. This is also a Liberal stronghold, and their candidate says he and the party have their eye on the long game.
This is the first step for 2015, so that's really important.
All 3 parties have lots at stake in these by-elections. The Conservatives will find out how much the Senate scandal is hurting them. The Liberals want to see if Justin Trudeau's popularity can deliver new seats, while the NDP hopes to prove it can be competitive in all parts of the country. Donna?
Lots to watch for tonight. Jacques Bourbeau, thanks. And for the results of those by-elections and more background on the ridings, you can go to our website, globalnews.ca.